So how will you pay off Canada's deficits? Okay, what would you like to say?
If I had your money, maybe I'd pay it off, right? You know what a deficit is? That means we're spending more money than we're taking in on taxes. So in order to get rid of what you call the deficit, we either have to raise the taxes, which I think we're taxed to death, or we have to lower our spending. So somehow we're going to have to lower our spending, but yet get more people to work. Because if there's more people working, then more people are paying taxes. Especially in Renfrew County, where we have had in the last year over 600 people have been laid off. That means there's 600 people are not working in the forestry industry, and that's an industry that I'm very much involved with, and that is simply not acceptable. Why a lot of the people in the forestry industry have been laid off in Renfrew County is because the United States is sending up a lot of lumber into Renfrew County, and it's highly subsidized by the American government, so they can actually send the lumber up here to Renfrew County, and they can sell it cheaper than we can produce it here. So the government needs some programs in place to help the forestry. They don't have to spend a lot of money, but they have to give them some generous, some tax breaks to try and make sure that we can produce the lumber that we can at least compete with the United States. So basically what you have to do is get more people working, and I don't want to raise the taxes. There's a tax out there called the HST. Now, some of you kids might not know what that is, but every time your mom and dad go to the gas station, it costs them more money to put gas in the car. So I don't believe that HST tax should have been brought in either, not at the time when we're economically depressed. Now I've been told again to.
And Ms. Fancy, if you would like to respond.
Thank you for that question. The Green Party believes in living within our means, environmentally and economically. And part of the reason we're in a deficit is that the Conservative government has been spending a lot of money on things that we necessarily wouldn't be spending on if we didn't have them in power. So when the Liberal government was previously in power, we actually had a surplus. And now the Conservative government has been spending money or planning to spend money on a lot of things that we don't necessarily agree with. So that's why it's important to go and vote so you can change who's in power and how they are spending your parents' tax money. So some of these things that they want to do is make large U.S.-style prisons. And these are going to be very expensive. And actually, I was speaking to someone at Algonquin College who teaches criminology, and our crime rate really isn't on the increase in Canada. So what actually justifies us spending all this money that the Conservative government wants to spend on large prisons? They also want to spend a lot of money on fighter jets, some new fighter jets. But they're not putting the bid out to numerous people to bid on these jets. They're just picking one person to do it, and they're very expensive, and it's not a fair process. So this is part of the reason that we're going into debt here. So what I would also like to see is to get rid of the Conservative government because they're subsidizing banks, the big banks that we all bank at, TD Bank, Royal Bank. They're helping them out. And they're also helping out oil companies, big industry oil companies with what they call subsidies. They should be helping us out with daycare and other issues. So we're going into debt in the wrong areas. So we need to reverse some of that spending and start looking at where we